Let's do the thing. Oh boy. Whew. Alright, let's go to where I took the picture. It's gonna be faster going this way. We're gonna be skipping past a lot just right now. But you may have a general better understanding of things, certainly from just me walking by these things, than you did from the single picture I took. But let's take a look. And for people who didn't see the picture, you're not going to know what the hell I'm talking about, but I will tell you once I get there. I posted the picture to Reddit, and people were asking me for more information, so here it is. I love you all. Around here is where I took that picture. So here we have inputs. They come up, everything goes up, up, except for these things that go down. So, what is it? You have raw resources coming up, and there's a gap here to allow for more resources like sulfur and deuterium and other things that I don't have currently going in there, and oil. And then you have finished products that go up, and they only really go down in order to be accumulated in storage over here on the second level. But most importantly, they go up to be used as inputs for other resources. So let's go take a look. Also, I will note that for this particular save, or this, I don't know, instance, I have cheated. So I used that calculator thing to get a few things from a lot of things from the Awesome Shop recipes, but I think I'm only using the recipe for screws right now. This wouldn't functionally change so much right now if I weren't to have done the recipes, but there were certain things I needed, like conveyor lift floor hole, to be able to make the base. And I also cheated a research after I started to be able to have stackable conveyor lifts for pipes, because that comes much too late, I think. But I did that. I didn't make use of any of the other things that came along with that research. I wasn't really able to. So I think this would be possible vanilla if you didn't cheat. It'd just be a little bit more of a headache, and it's already a bit of a headache. I also, usually play with a friend, but since the friend isn't here, I did increase inventory size probably more than I needed to. Because this is a little daunting if you're doing things solo, but this is where resources are coming in, and I had the idea to do a single foundation for all incoming resources, and I thought I might split it into wet and dry goods, and then I realized that this is not really going to work at all, so I'm going to widen this out to have one foundation per resource, so you'll have one foundation that's limestone, another that's water, and so on and so forth. So it'll probably be, I don't know, 13 wide, maybe, I don't know. As many raw resources as there are in the game is how wide this will be, and it will span from the south of the map to the north of the map. That's my current plan anyway. I've only gone a little bit north, and so we'll see how long this idea lasts. Could be I end up using trains, but we'll see. So let's go. Oh, and also I've segregated power, or I have yet to, but I plan to segregate power into resource acquisition and item production. And when it's segregated into item production, um, it'll be per floor. So I plan to have a power switch in between here, and this feeds everything that's on this floor. What is it? And this is the main line connected to all the power. And so if a fuse is blown, especially once the update comes out with their change in how power switches are going to be used, like, what is it? Concrete is not mission critical, so I'm not, what is it, going to have that high up on the totem pole. If power is stretched too thin, then I have something like coal acquisition be prioritized before concrete production. But basically, you have your resources coming in, and this is your production line. And things are currently quote-unquote optimized for Mark 1 belts, so it's not pretty the way I have things right now. But once I get Mark 3 belts going, I'm going to optimize things. I'm going to lay things out as if I had lines of aluminum belt, which I forget the mark of, but one line of aluminum limestone is going to feed, I think it's like 17.3 repeated, 17 and a third constructors, so I'll probably make that 18. Split that in half, and you get 9. What does it say? You get 9 of these constructors, and then you have utilized a full belt of limestone, and then you pull down resources from a higher belt and feed it into the first belt from that point on, and then you just continue that on as long as you'd like. I feel like it's quote-unquote infinitely expandable. I think as much limestone as the game has, you can probably chew through it in this manner. Might have to cut down some trees down there. I'm not sure if I made this high enough, but certainly the upper floors will be high enough for their items, and you can really expand with this method. So the finished product comes over here. I've found that 5 floors is makes working with 6 high belt pretty comfy. You have it going down, and this is the first resource I made, so I wasn't sure, but I had it going down. For the rest of it, I usually just have 2 belts going down per resource, and that's feeding all of these storage containers. The most important thing is that the resource goes up, because the concrete will be used for other things, just like all of these resources will be used for other and more complicated recipes. So let's go up. And you probably get an idea of how all this works. Oh, look at this guy. He's right here. I couldn't pass it up. Oh god. Well, okay. Let's continue on here. You have all your resources being made. Oh, fuck. Sorry. I don't have jetpacks yet, or parachutes or anything. Okay. All your resources being made, and it's Mark 1 belt, so it takes a long time for something to be produced and go all the way where it needs to go. let's see here. And you have the next thing. Look at that. That's not being utilized all too much. You have the next thing. And you have the next thing. This is generally how it goes. And I only have 3 belts coming in of, what is it, copper ore. So, what is it? That's what it's producing. First 2 are 2 full lines of copper. The second 2 are halves. So it's probably only 30 items per second. And I haven't fully, saturated the lines yet, but I just laid them out. So eventually they will be saturated. To produce more, make more machines, but really expandability at this point is going to come from, or expansion at this point is going to come from, upgrading the belts from Mark 1 to Mark 3 to Mark 6. Let's see here. Yep. Just keep going up, keep making resources, and they go up, 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 up. And the idea is to essentially treat the resources, the inputs, as if it's a full line, as if every line coming in of that resource was a full line, because right now you can see that essentially both of these plants, both of these floors are utilizing fully whatever screws I have being produced, so they're essentially halved. But eventually, enough rotors are going to be produced. Right now, these are only going to storage. They're not being used in anything else. So once storage is full up, this floor will stop taking screws, and then this floor will have full access to the screws, all else being equal, so that's why I treat it, or I will treat it, as if, these plants are being fed by full lines of the resources coming in. So from there, you determine how much is coming out, and based on how much is coming out, you split these off and add different lanes. So let's see if I can show you that. It's gonna be on a different, not there, not there, somewhere. Nope. Here. So once a full belt is saturated, you split off the output. Now the output isn't going to be equal to the input. So here, resource takes in 50, but it outputs 30. That doesn't happen too often, where it takes in less than it produces. So you have, takes in 15, so 4 should be saturated from that. And so in order to keep that line full, let's actually delete this. In order to keep that line full from this point, you're going to want to do what I had back there. You want to angle these a little bit. You want to bias these to the end of the line. I'll show you why. One of these, and now the belt is being fed from there. And you want to delete this. You want to have access to that belt so that you can delete it, so that this full line isn't being quote unquote contaminated by what's coming before it, because it will separate onto that line if it is connected. And you want any further line to just be coming from the belt above. So that's how you do it. And this, I think, is pretty beautiful. And it's how basically all of the plants will look once I optimize things for Mark 6 belt. That's the idea. And this one's going to have more input, more output than it has input. So 6 lines of copper coming in, and basically it's going to be doubled going out. So I'm going to decide what to do about that. You can extend this beyond and have more lines going in that way, or you can put it in another section, an unused section. So it's up to you, but really the idea with this base is just expandability per recipe. And if there's another recipe for wire, I would do that on another floor. And there's another thing, that I think this way of doing the base is rather inefficient for liquids, because you need to pump them up. I think each one of those is 4 megawatts, and that's just not cool. So I might do liquids horizontally, I'm not too sure. But that would mean separating off the bus, and we'll see. Let me know if you have comments. I think I showed you what I'd really love help with, which is these. They clip. If you have an idea of how to do this better, I would really appreciate it. I think really the thing to do is to make it so that you have more room per resource. So right now it's 1 foundation per resource, maybe 1.5 foundations per resource, would do it, but we will see. And I think I might end it there. Let me just show you one more thing. It's not amazing. It's just how all this is handled. You have all your resources coming down. It's just my trash there with the awesome sink. But they come down, they come over, and they come up, and that's it. And I have... Oh, look at that. Come at me, bro. Set up more than is currently being utilized. This is the highest resource at the moment, and it is full. And we're getting there, so that's the idea. Let me know what you think. I haven't seen this in many other people's videos. I've seen like other factories, like there's a factory over there for iron, there's a factory over there for copper. I like having things next to each other. It's a little mind-numbing, the setup of it all, but it really is starting to pay off just at this point. And yeah, all right. Thank you all for watching.